Hi guys, it is National Umbrella Day and I am here to celebrate with you, and I've got my umbrella here. But what's cool about my umbrella is while it might look a little bit plain and just purple, on the inside I've got a little hidden galaxy. So I'm going to show you how to paint your umbrella. Now we are doing the inside and I can give you some tips on how to do the outside. Now you can tell I did every other panel. You could easily do your whole umbrella. I can actually tell you that might have been easier than me doing every other panel, but this is your project. So we're gonna get started. So I'll show you right here, this one here. I've got the black down. Now I did use some fabric paint. I used the Tulip Soft Matte fabric paint. If you were to paint the outside where the rain is really gonna be hitting it, I would recommend only using fabric paint because fabric paint is for fabric. You wash your clothes, it doesn't come off in the washer. This will withstand the rain. I went ahead and did a single coat because I wanted to make sure that it was going to cover, and I really love how it doesn't show through on the other side. I thought that was really cool. But I did pick up a bottle of the black fabric paint just to give myself a background. Now maybe you're starting with a black umbrella, you won't need to do that. So other things I have some regular fabric paint in a variety of colors. I've got some different galaxy colors. You can choose your own colors. Maybe you want your galaxy to be more reminiscent of the reds and green galaxies. That is up to you. I do have some newspaper, some old newspaper that I'm going to be using a little later, and I'll show you what I do with it. I do have some paintbrushes. Now, obviously I had a paintbrush when I painted the black down, but I'm going to really only be using the paintbrush. I've got one with a pointy end here that you can use either this or maybe a pencil, and then I've got a big one that I'm going to be using to flick on my stars with. And then I have handy dandy all-purpose sponges. And this is just a disc sponge I cut up into pieces. So get your colors set, get your base color on that you're looking for, and then we're going to go ahead and paint. So I found I like the look if I fold my sponge in half to be a circle. Otherwise you get really nice straight lines, which is great if you're doing something lined. Not great if you want like a cloudy nebula effect. So I'm going to take my sponge, dip it in the paint, stamp it around a bit so that when I put it on, it's not going to just be solid paint. And then we're just going to stamp it on and give it a nice cloud effect. Now I do one color at a time just to give myself, tip this down. I do one color at a time just so that I'm not reusing, picking up one sponge and putting down another. You can always start in and then go in with another color, you know, later. Maybe you're like, oh, I did all my purples, but I really wanted purple in this one area. That's fine. You can go back in and put it in and it won't matter. So I think it's good for my purple. I'm gonna set my sponge down, pick another one, and we'll just go in with a little blue. Like I said, you want to really sponge off some of it so it's not straight. And don't be afraid to get, you know, some of that color mixed in with one of the other colors. You know, the nebulas tend to like go on top of each other a little bit. So we kind of want that effect. I'm going to tip this down. It's a little weird because I'm trying to make sure you guys can see this in the video and everything is backwards to what I'm doing. It's throwing me off. Just throw a little extra blue. Good thing is when you do this with acrylics, if you've noticed, I've managed to get blue on this crossbar. Acrylics just wash off with water and soap. So you can easily clean up any oops pieces that you were like, I didn't really want color right there. Which again is why I said if I had done the whole umbrella it might have been easier because I wouldn't have been worried about it. Especially when I show you to do the stars. You know, if you do your whole umbrella, you're not going to have the problems I had. But you know, live and learn, right? Even having that newspaper down is great, especially for if you're like, I really stuck my sponge in the paint. I could use a little less paint. You can really dab off some of that paint onto that newspaper. Alright, set that one over there. Do a little bit of this green color I've got. Just dabbing it on. Tip it so you guys can see a little better. You want to leave some black just to give it, you know, it is space. And then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of extra white. Just stick it on my newspaper just to highlight a little bit with white. We're going to go in later and really do it with some stars. So you don't want to do too much white if you're going to go in and do stars later. But I think the white makes a pretty nice contrast just against all the other color. Helps make it a little more realistic too. Here we go. Let's see. All right. So I think I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. So next we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go in with our stars. So big paintbrush. This is where my newspaper comes into effect. So if you're like me and you're like, I only want to do every other panel, but how am I going to make stars without absolutely covering my whole project in white splatter? Which is why I said sometimes doing the whole umbrella would have been easier. We're going to use some newspaper. Yet again, if you're using acrylic paints and you're not doing the top with the fabric paint, you can wipe it off later. So we're just going to get some nice paint on. We're going to use our thumb. We're just going to flick it. If you hold it a little closer down to where you want the stars to go, you tend to get some little bigger drops, and it helps you to figure out, you know, where exactly your splattering is going. Do beware, you can get a little messy. That's okay. Alright, so I've got my little tiny dots of stars on, and you can see well, maybe I got a little bit of white here. That's fine. Like I said, little soap and water will wipe that right off. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. So I can touch more stuff. Alright, so next you're going to take, we've got our nice paint splattered area here. We want to add a few stars just to make it so that you can really recognize it as a galaxy. So I'm going to take my pointy paintbrush here, pointy slanted end here. Again, you can use a pencil, a knitting needle, maybe a chopstick, anything you have that you can do a decent point with. And I'm just going to, try to show you as best I can. Alright, I'm going to flip this like this. Okay, so you're going to put your point down, that you've got some paint on, and you're going to draw a line up, and then from where you put that point down, you're going to draw a line down. You can see my darker line here. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start in the middle, and you're going to make an X, pulling out from the center, because that's where you put your paint down. Got a nice little star there. Now you can, again, go from the middle and make more points, just like that. And then you can go in and continue doing as many stars as you want. I'll show you with one that I've already finished. Maybe if I stand up you can see better. So if you can see, I've got some 6-pointed ones. I've also got these where I just put my point down and then drug to make it look almost like a little comet. So you can do a lot of stuff with this. Really have fun with it and make it your own, guys. And I hope you enjoy National Umbrella Day like I did.